Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to your Monday night. That's right, it's me, the redneck. I got my good buddy, the geek, here with me because it is Avenger Pretenders on your screen once again. Tonight, episodes 7, 8, and 9 of What If Season 2. It's going to be a fun show. Do me a favor, grab your favorite thing to drink or your favorite adult beverage, something to munch on, sit back in the easy chair, kick back and relax, and let me and Sully do all the work. Sully, it's all yours.
Oh, why, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it, as always. Welcome to the show, people. Welcome to the show, because, hey, that's how we roll. That's how we roll. For some reason, my chat is not coming up on the screen here, and I don't know why.
Interesting.
It's very interesting indeed. But I'm sure I can fix it, no problem. We'll see what happens. But anyway,
I was gonna say we'll see.
Lots to talk about today. Lots to talk about. We're gonna get right down to the nitty gritty because, well, we kind of have to.
Right.
Not gonna lie, it's kind of something that we do. Because if we don't, something's going to happen. What that something is, no idea.
Who knows?
It's weird. It's crazy like that even. So, down to it. Let's do it. 3 episodes. We're doing 7, 8, and 9 today. And we're starting off with What If Hela found the 10 rings.
That'd be a hell of a situation is what that'd be.
So basically, what happens here is we see a little bit of a reversal when it comes to the story of Thor.
A little?
Okay, a lot. A lot. But there's also some similarities to it as well. For example, the episode starts off where the Watcher is talking about Odin and uniting the 9 realms under the throne of Asgard and what they did in order to do it. So right there we have the wonderful story that has not changed, which would be him and Hela going around using their armies to conquer the 9 realms and make them all part of Asgard, and Odin being the ruler. Makes sense. If you don't remember that, watch Thor Ragnarok, because that's where they talk about that stuff. Now, one by one, as he put it, and he being Uatu, the Watcher, the branches of the world tree fell under their control. Now, that alone should tell you what's going to happen next.
All hell's gonna break loose.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. All hell breaks loose under that. But as things are going down, Hela obviously gets into that whole power hungry, let's keep going after them, that type of thing. The warrior is the warrior. Let's conquer. Let us rule all. Even though he says, no, you must lay down your sword.
Right.
Or in this case, Mjolnir, lay down your hammer, because she was the original owner of it in the MCU, and chill out. Chill out. However,
in my opinion, she makes a good argument.
She makes a very good argument.
She makes a good argument from here, as far as to what's going on and all that. I really do. I think she makes a good argument.
Yes. And that's okay to make that argument. It really is. Yeah, especially since that's what she was basically born and bred to do. She was Odin's executioner. So if she refused, he basically said, no, 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 you're going to do it.
It's time to lay down your sword and let peace rule.
Yes.
Real quick, want to say hi to our good buddy from across the northern border, Mr. Laserman, aka Ian. He has joined us in the chat room. Great to have you along, Ian.
What's up, man?
And I like what she said. She's like, look, dude, look, Pops. Okay. Ever from the time I was born, all you taught me to do was fight.
Yes.
You taught me to fight and kill and conquer and take over worlds and bring them under our rule.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden you decide to stop at 9.
Yeah, like why 9? What? I don't get it. I don't get why it had to be an odd number.
Right?
I really don't. Like, why an odd number?
Right. And it's a good point, I mean, why end it on an odd number when you can end it, at least go to 10. That way it's even. There's 2 numbers, one for you, one for me. Well, we're good to go. Okay.
Just to be a devil's advocate here. And this is just more of, I'm thinking outside the box here.
Right.
9, in theory, is kind of perfect because let's say you have all the leaders of the 9 realms together. We'll make it a council. A council. And let's just say you needed an extra vote.
Right.
That's where that odd number would probably come in. Because instead of landing in a tie, well, now you have 5 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. Yeah. I get it. I understand.
So it's like the vice president can, if there's a tie in the Senate, the vice president is the deciding vote.
Yes.
Kind of thing,
Yes.
So.
Well, in this instance, though, Odin says to her that no god should have dominion over death, who has so little appreciation for life. Makes perfect sense.
Right.
It makes perfect sense. She really did not have any appreciation for life because she was his executioner. She was the one taking the lives. She was doing what she needed to do in order to capture all the 9 realms. Now, with that being said, he casts her out, sends her to Midgard.
See, here's where I got pissed.
Oh.
I actually got mad at this episode.
Why?
Because, all right. So he took her crown, her antler crown, whatever you want to freaking call it.
Her helmet.
He took that away from her. Yeah, helmet. What? Yeah. Took the hammer away from her and all that stuff. Cast her out. And then threw the helmet into the same place that he sent her.
Well, yeah.
How does that in any realm make sense? Because she's going to do nothing but search for that crown.
Well, because it's a parallel story to what happened with Thor. So if you remember in Thor,
okay,
he went looking for a fight when the frost giants invaded Asgard because Loki let them in.
Right.
And because he went looking for a fight, Odin had to go and save them.
Right.
Not only brought them back, but was so pissed at him because he's like, you could have started a war. Why? What's wrong with you? Which, therefore, he stripped him of his powers, said...
Thor or Loki?
Thor.
I'm trying to remember. Okay.
Thor. And said, ye who be worthy, maybe have the power of Thor. And he threw the hammer into the Bifrost, and it landed on her.
Because she said the same thing about her helmet.
Yep. So it's the same exact thing. She needs to be worthy. The difference is Thor learned his lesson and understood what he needed to do in order to regain his powers and Mjolnir. He had to be worthy.
Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah, I forgot about that part.
Same thing.
I'll be honest, I forgot about it.
Well, that's okay.
But it's still, I'm like, why are you going to throw it in the same freaking world? Because you know she's going to go looking for it.
But that's why. Yeah. That's why. So instead of landing in Arizona, she lands in China. Okay.
Yay.
Lands in China on Earth. But at the same time, Wenwu, and if you don't remember who Wenwu is, make sure you go back and watch Shang-Chi. He has possession of the most powerful forces on Earth. And he also has the 10 rings, which are his main power. This is where I liked this story, because it was completely out of left field with what they were doing. Because, as he put it, well, you know, this is pretty cool. Someone has come this far from what is it? I believe the heavens. Yes, the heavens.
Yes, when things fall from the heavens.
And he was very intrigued by this, by the way. But Hela, not amused at the whole situation of being on Earth and needing to find her crown, it took a few people out. I mean, you know, she's very, listen, magic powers or no magic powers, she's highly trained.
Oh, yeah. There's no question. There's no doubt. There's no argument at all.
Yeah.
She is deadly as hell.
Yes.
Especially when she has her powers. But now that she doesn't have her powers, she still knows how to fight because she went through all the training and everything.
Yeah.
So, you know, she may not be able to knock you into next week like she could when she had her helmet and the hammer, but she's still going to knock you into yesterday.
Well, that is very, very true. Very, very true. So now here's the other thing with this. She's automatically in her brain going, no, you guys are going to answer to me because I'm more powerful than you. Until Wenwu shows up and goes, hold it, sister.
And I like how she said, you know, would you be willing to go to battle in my name? You know, still in the, you know, I'm Miss Badass and nobody can mess with me. And they're all just like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, he says to her, well, you know, most people fear me and should cower before me and all this other, you know, high and mighty bullshit type thing. And Hela sees right through it with, well, just so you know, I'm not everybody. I'm not your favorite person. I am the goddess of death.
And he's just like,
you know, and then they start to fight a little, you know, nothing bad.
Right. I think he was kind of testing her on this first part to see just how bad she really was. Yeah. You know.
But what I really liked was she never really lost sight of, no, I'm going to conquer. Because if she did have her crown, you'd all bow before me.
Right.
That's her big thing, is you would all bow before me.
Even an evil person, right? And you can look realistically at, you know, the evil people throughout history. You know, Napoleon and Hitler and Genghis Khan and all those kind of things. Even if they had special powers that were suddenly taken away from them, they would not suddenly go, oh no, I lost my powers, I'm going to be a good guy. Not even Stewie Griffin would do that.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So the attitude is going to stay the same, whether, you know, and they just they realize that they have to figure out a different way of doing what they want to do instead of just being able to go
Yes.
poof, sprinkle a little bit of fairy dust and say you are all under my control.
Yes.
Can't do that. So still going to do it. Just got to find a different way of doing it.
Yes. And
So
and
this ain't
this
going to change.
And this is where the situation falls in of exactly what happened in Thor, where, Thor tried to lift Mjolnir and couldn't because he wasn't worthy at the time. Well, now she's going through that same exact thing. And Wenwu decides, well, you know what? I kind of feel pity on her. Why don't you come with us?
And he also found her kind of hot.
Well, yeah, I mean...
come on, he is a guy.
Well, yes. Yes.
Evil or not, she's not a bad looking woman.
Because, they do the whole thing of, come to the headquarters, hey, let's get to know each other, and all that wonderful good stuff.
Ask her to join him at, join him at his side and
go to dinner, do a little
we will rule the world together.
I mean, it's just one of those things that, a man and a woman meet each other, And it's amazing how things can turn, because that's what starts to happen. And she starts to wear different colors, including the color red.
Right.
Which for him, as he tells her, red is the color of good fortune, and that brides even wear red on their wedding days.
She damn near choked.
She spits her drink out.
What?
Yeah, like, hello. It's amazing,
that was funny.
Isn't it? Because think of the view. The view is amazing, right? And then she's, spits her drink out and almost gets it all, destroyed and all that good stuff. But right. He also says to her, well, she's not really amused at the whole thing, but she doesn't like marriage. She doesn't say, she doesn't think it's appropriate for her because it's an imprisonment that would be a life sentence. Not wrong. Not right either, but not wrong. It happens. But a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feel that way.
A whole lot of people.
Just a tad bit. Okay? Just a tad bit. But Wenwu reassures her that he's not proposing to her. Don't worry, I'm not going to, I don't want your hand in marriage. No. No. It's not the way it works. Not how it's happening. Hold on. There we go. It gets to the point where Hela says that Odin once saw the same fight and he exploited what he saw, and that just made her grow. Her ambition to grow and be the goddess of death.
Yes.
But Wenwu replies with, well, I'm not Odin, so get that out of your way right now. Boom.
Right.
And that the 10 rings were a gift to him. They were a gift, and he did whatever he needed to do. But
Happy birthday.
He also said that that Earth was plagued by dangerous forces. And Hela went, really? Do tell. That's the best way I could do it. It was just like, I'm intrigued by this. Who do I need to kill? Because why not? So Wenwu also kind of butters her up by saying, listen, Odin might fear the fight, but I don't. So you can see he's trying to play her. Or at least trying to win her over to, be all lovey-dovey, do the whole thing. But then he goes in and kisses her.
Tries to.
But then she punches
him. It literally turned into 10 seconds of the WWE, where she's pounding his head up against, it was the war mat, but in this example, it was against the announce table.
Well, yeah.
I was like, cool.
Are you okay? No, don't die on me there.
Oh no, no. Smoker's hack. Nothing new.
Well, good.
You should be used to that noise by now.
Yeah, kind of. So anyway, while they're walking around China and doing their thing, she's befriending people, and there's a gentleman by the name of Morris. I can't remember if Morris was. I'm trying to remember what type of thing he was. It was like one of those small animals with wings, or big animal with wings. I can't
The flying
remember.
butt.
Yeah, that's right. The flying butt.
The flying butt. Yeah.
It's the flying butt, and they escape, and she follows him into the forest, where she kind of goes for
a ride.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. But the forest kind of becomes alive.
Well, it's just like in the Seven Rings. You have to go through the maze the right way in the Seven Rings.
10 rings.
In order to get to, I can't think of the name of the land, but in order to get to the land on the other side. So it's just like the movie, except she was on a horse instead of in a little Mini Cooper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think about it,
From there, after the forest is closing in on them, they do manage to survive. And I always butcher this name up. Jaye? Or Jayi? I want to say Jayi.
Works for me.
Where Jayi, hopefully I'm saying that right, is the protector of Talal. And she finds Hela and fills them in on what's going on. Because, Morris is like, hey, this and this, But Hela, being Hela, she wasn't aware that some magic like this existed on Midgard, and that she thought Asgard was really the only realm that had this. But Jayi says, well, no, wait a minute. We protect this. We protect the people of Earth from the underworld.
Right.
Like you.
Yeah, he was doing good till he said that.
Well, I mean,
he's being honest.
Just honest, But Hela says, listen, I don't mean you any harm. Not gonna hurt you.
Liar.
But
I'm throwing the BS flag.
But, my fights with Wenwu and Odin and Frigga, her mother. And Hela tries to, take arms, and it doesn't work too well. Jayi kind of does her thing and, says, hey, listen, just so you know.
Puts Hela on her ass.
One can't fend off the darkness by themselves. Which makes sense.
You cannot fend off the darkness with darkness. You must fight it with light.
There you go.
Real quick, I loved in that little exchange there. I love the part where, because it's where she finally listed who her main battles were. She says, "My only fight is with my dad, or with Odin," and then she added the second person, and then she added the third. So it's only with those three. I was like, come on, get your story straight here, I found that enjoyable.
It was.
It was.
But meanwhile, while this is all happening, Heimdall who's obviously been around for a while now, asks Odin to forgive him because Hela is gone and he can't see her.
Mm.
Now, for Heimdall to do something like that, to actually say that to Odin, that just goes to show you the power that is currently being harnessed in Midgard.
Well, and it's a respect for your king as well. Yes, he may be the king of the guard and the watcher for the kingdom and all that, but he's still a low man on the totem pole compared to Odin.
Yeah.
And everything. And I found it interesting, that once she entered Midgard,
yeah,
he lost sight of her. But then I remembered, well, Midgard is hidden from the rest of the world, so even he would not be able to see that once she was in there.
Well,
or am I wrong in that thinking?
Well, yes, but that's also the type of power that he was talking about with Odin, saying that there's great power with the 10 rings that could destroy a god.
Right.
Which, right then and there, Hela's trying to get those 10 rings because now she wants to come to Asgard and kick Odin's ass for doing
and
exactly.
Odin's like, oh shit, I need to try and get those before she does.
Right. So, there's, as he put it, there's no telling what its people could be capable of at their age of peace, which would be short-lived, which makes perfect sense because at this time, that's what's happening,
Yeah.
It's not fully a war. There's not a lot of battles going on right now. It's actually at peace because Earth is at such a young age. Yes, they're fighting amongst themselves, but they're not going up against anybody across the 9 realms.
Right.
But that's where Hela has a flashback. And you see that flashback of her training. Seeing Odin coming for her, grabbing a dragon scale armor to face him. It was...
Well, she had the flashback to him taking the wolf away from her and asking why, her asking, why did you take him away? And she's like, he's of no threat to you. And I loved his reply to that, which was, he's not now, but he will be.
Yes.
Because he is still a beast. He is still wild inside. Just like they say about animals now.
Yes.
They get into certain situations, they get pushed so far, they revert to, even though they may have never done it in their life, they revert back to their animal instinct, which is to survive.
Survival of the fittest. Absolutely.
And how do you survive? You fight like a wild wolf. Okay.
Yes.
And it was a very interesting lesson for her.
Sure.
Although she didn't really take it as a lesson at the time. It was, you took my pet.
Yeah. But here's the other thing that's happening. Because now we have Odin terrorizing the countryside, as she put it. And he must be stopped.
Yes.
But Jayi says, well, we're not fighters, we're guardians. We're guardians. We protect.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between Hela and Jayi.
Right.
And Hela says that without a fight, she's no one. But Jayi says, listen, if you choose to go this way, you're on your own. I can't help you.
Well, yeah, and then she threw back in her face, as you told me, you can't fight darkness with darkness. You have to fight darkness with light.
Yes.
And turned around and walked out. And you saw the sly little grin.
Oh, yeah, that grin was great, wasn't it?
That sly little grin came across her face. And this, and this is after teaching her, not all, but a large amount of their practices.
Yes.
And teaching her how to do the, ultimately the the flaming knives.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because that was one of the things that she tried to get in the beginning was, how about some knives? Because they were doing a thing with the making the rose petals float, and she's like, well, maybe not rose petals, maybe knives, or fire. Oh, no, flaming knives. Yeah. See, to me, that was Nikaya right there.
Yeah, hands down.
That little bit there was Nikaya perfectly.
And the best part is she was probably watching this episode going, yep, that's me.
Mhm.
Knives all the way. Well, from there, Odin is now attacking the Ten Rings headquarters. Him and his forces are going full all out. Heimdall sees everything that's going on, and he appears and tells Hela that when she fell out of view, they feared the worst, which is why they came after her. Lies.
Bullshit flag. Bullshit flag. Bullshit flag. Give me some more flags. Bullshit flag. Bullshit flag.
Lies. Flat out lies. While Odin then goes, well, the Ten Rings don't belong here. They belong on Asgard with me.
What did he say? They don't belong here with these
primitives,
middlings, or primitive. Was it primitives? I didn't catch exactly what he called them.
It was primitives. That much I do remember. Primitives.
Yeah. I mean, pure insult, complete and total insult to the person wearing it and mastering them.
Yep. But then Hela does something that was very unexpected. She tells him, go away and never return. And then Odin demanded that Hela obey. And the best part, this is like every kid growing up that needs to go on their own. This is exactly what happens.
Mm-hmm.
She realizes, no, I'm an adult. Bite me, kiss my ass. We're going to move on. And said, no, you had your throne, and threw it away.
Yeah. And I know we're crunched on time here, but I have to go back into the episode a little bit, because during the training, the question that she was always asked, that Hela was always asked, was, what do you want? What are you looking for?
Yes.
And, it was always basically revenge. I want my throne. I want my crown. I want my, powers back, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, one day, she says, freedom. I want the ability to make my own choice.
Yeah.
To make my own choices of what path I want to walk.
Yep.
Not walking the path that somebody else is telling me to walk, like my father has from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And that was a huge realization for her, which led to this moment.
Yeah.
Where she's like, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, I'm your king. No, you're not, because you banished me.
Yes. But this is where the similarities to Thor come in, because he flat out said, hey, I stripped you of your crown. Without it, you can't beat me. You're low man on the totem pole. I'm going to squash you like a bug.
Right.
But
flag on the play.
But she said, well, you know what? It's a funny story. I'm not by myself. And oh, by the way, this is what's going to happen. She tells Wenwu, listen, we need to separate. We need to do what we need to do. We need to go one direction, whatever. It doesn't matter.
We need to separate his staff from him.
Yes. And what was it? Gungnir, I think it's called Gungnir.
Something like that, yeah.
And she blocks the blast, but because of that, Jai taught Hela that darkness cannot fend off darkness. Only light can. And Wenwu said that they are here to prove her right. And that's when, right before Odin is about to finish Hela off, she gets back her powers and defeats Odin.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, baby.
Because they kept flashing as these more realizations and everything came to her, and she spoke them, and she started to believe them, just like with Thor. They were causing her to earn her helmet back, just like it did with Thor earning his hammer back. It was really cool. It was really neat the way they did this.
Yeah. Completely turned it around, which was really good. You know? So, with that being said, Odin said that he sent Hela to China to grow and learn in the end, but also that the throne is hers and that she earned it. She earned it. Did she
and to take
really,
the throne
though?
and rule?
But did she really, though? Did she?
Well, she did beat him.
That's true. She did. She did. But the 9 realms will know freedom for eons across all of the cosmos. And that's when the Watcher started narrating and said after she's reunited with Asgardian army with the 10 rings, and she fought against the injustices in the 9 realms. So she became a protector of the 9 realms instead of getting imprisoned like she did.
Instead of the conqueror and the ruler.
Yeah. Now it makes me wonder if Thor was actually ever born with this one.
Well, he was never in the episode. He was never in
wasn't.
the episodes. I would almost assume he wasn't.
Yep.
With the way that they did everything, my assumption, and I think probably yours as well, is that he wasn't.
It's true.
Or maybe, or it may have been the fact that because of the fact that she was never imprisoned and he destroyed the hammer, that he had no use for Thor having it. So he was just never brought up.
It's very true.
I mean, there's a couple of different ways you could go with that one.
Very true indeed. So, is it me? Do I start, or do you?
Well, you're forgetting the ending because the realization comes in, she gets the helmet back, but her whole outfit turns white.
Yes.
Instead of the black and green and all that stuff, it's all white and everything. And her and the 10 Rings guy band together as protectors. In the last scene, Thanos' Gamora.
Yes.
I remembered the name.
Yay!
Holy shit.
It only took 3 years.
Right, exactly. They flash to a scene of Gamora as a child.
Yes.
And Thanos is there, and they're kind of talking, and then they see something in the distance, and Thanos turns and looks, and it is Hela and him and their entire army.
Yep.
Coming to kick his ass.
We're gonna take you out, you bastard.
And then cut to black.
Which is
let's see. Odd episodes are me first.
Okay, yep, you're right.
Great episode. Great. I like the storyline, although, like I said at the beginning, it kind of pissed me off because, he threw the helmet into the same realm that she went and blah, 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 and all that good crap.
But then
great storyline for you. Right. I love the way they altered the storyline.
Yes.
To fit her and the transformation that they needed to make happen.
Yes.
This is one of those episodes that I honestly think they wrote backwards.
Really?
I honestly think they wrote backwards because, okay, that kind of storyline would be kind of hard to come up with starting at the beginning. You know, you could get a little ways in, but then you're going to be kind of lost. But if with this kind of episode, if you start at the end where, you know, you have the ultimate point that you want to reach,
Yes,
you can work backwards and make a more realistic storyline of how that happened. I don't know. In my opinion, I don't know if that's the case or anything, but I would like to think that I might be a little bit right on that.
You're right there.
The storyline was great and everything. I love the special effects and everything, even though it's cartoons. Was really, really good on this episode. I'm gonna give it 4.25.
Okay, 4.25. Nice.
4.25.
I do know that Lady Death has given a 4.75, and she messaged
I think that was
me
for the whole series.
Yes, for the whole series. So
yes,
I don't know what her individual ones are, but for me, I'm actually going to give this episode a 4.
Really, I'm above you.
Yep, a little above me, not too much, but
that doesn't happen very often.
I think because of the similarities to Thor, that's why I'm giving it a 4.
Well, I like how they combined two different movies,
Yes,
storylines though,
which was great.
You know, that was really good. I think that's what kind of pushed me up because I was thinking 4, but I think them meshing two completely different types of stories.
Yes.
And meshing them together in the manner that they did and coming out with the totally mind-boggling ending.
Yes.
You know, was really, really cool. So I give them big credit for that.
Which, again, you know, I did like it. I did like it. I can't bash the episode at all. I mean, to me, all of the similarities are there to Thor.
Was there maybe a pacing problem for you a little bit? That knocked it back a little, maybe?
No, I thought it was very well paced.
Okay.
I think they probably could have done a little bit more with the 10 rings. You know, because
the only time the 10 rings were used were when they were in the fight scene.
Right. And she never actually had the 10 rings.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting, and it was actually nice that it didn't happen. You know, 'cause my thought when the 10 rings came to be and everything else is that she was gonna beat him up, take the 10 rings from him, and use the combined powers to take out Odin. And I'm kind of glad it didn't go that way because that would have been really too simplistic of a storyline.
Yes, it would have been. So yeah, I'm giving it a 4. Very well done. It was very well written.
Yes.
Very well written.
Yes, it was.
But now we go into episode 8. What if the Avengers...
This was a strange episode from the beginning.
This was cool episode, though.
It was, but it was freaking strange.
Only because I read the 1602 comics, and I loved them. I absolutely loved them. Because it was a whole fresh new take on the Marvel Universe in 1602. You know,
right.
Some people had, superpowers, some didn't, but it was cool the way they did it. And this one is What If the Avengers Assembled in 1602, where we continue with Peggy Carter arriving in 1602. We already know she's there. They already did it. So this is a continuation of what's happening. And we open up with Thor, Hela, Nick Fury, all at a play performed by Prince Loki. Not Loki, Prince Loki. While he's holding a skull. Now, at first I thought he was doing Hamlet. I don't know if they actually say what he was performing, but because of the skull in his hand,
I think it
that's
was
what
a what if version of Hamlet.
yeah, but that's what I automatically thought was he was doing Hamlet. And Thor Thor is just bored out of his mind. He doesn't like the play, and he's making fun of his brother's acting, and he wants to throw shit at him.
Right, right.
Which, hey,
Somebody
you know what?
give me a rotten orange.
What are brothers for, right?
Of course.
So, as that's happening, another rift in reality occurs in the sky above them. And everybody's creeped out. Like, ah! But people start escaping, and Loki is pulled by the rift due to him still acting despite the crowd running away. So he's doing the all is good, all is great, all is fine, everything's going to be okay. I'm still performing for you. Hey, come back. But Captain Carter manages to catch him and bring him back down. Saved by Captain Carter yet again. Well, while that's happening, Hela is pulled by the rift, but Carter can't get her. And Hela is sucked into it.
Right.
And it closes. Hela's gone. Presumed dead. Making Thor the new king. Because, you know, she was heir to the throne. So, yeah.
And very pissed off.
Yes, very angry. You don't want Thor angry. But Thor blames Hela's supposed death on Captain Carter, saying that she failed at what she was summoned to do. So now she is a fugitive of the crown. Makes sense.
Robin Hood or Robin Hood.
Are you sure? Are you positive?
Sure. Yeah.
So Captain Carter evades capture, takes Loki's skull with her, and is on the run from then on. She's a complete fugitive from the crown. She's doing whatever we need to do. And while contemplating, she can hear the Watcher. Now, this is
You know I can hear you. You can? That was funny.
She's able to hear him, and he's talking about her and is visibly annoyed. And she goes, you know, for the record, the 21st and the 17th century is probably getting compressed together. So what do we do? How do we fix this? And she goes, she's like, this is the thing. But Uatu says that if she can't do it, the universe is going to shatter. It's going to collapse. It's going to be destroyed.
Well, and I like how he tried to convince her this world is going to die. There's nothing you can do about it. Let me take you back to your time. And she says, no. If there's a chance that I can save this world, that's what I do. That's my job. That's my mission in life.
Yeah.
So I have to try.
Yep. But he also says that this is a normal thing in the multiverse. It happens all the time.
Right.
Happens all the time. So as she rejects him, she goes to the castle where Maximoff, Thor, Fury, and Happy Hogan are. And we can see that cracks are growing and getting stronger across the globe. But Thor becomes very impatient. And Maximoff says to him, well, she's still here, but she's still the key to survival. We need her.
Right.
By the way, she's not the cause. There's somebody else.
Yeah, it's neat how this suddenly turned into a search for patient zero.
Yes.
Is basically it's the easiest way to describe it.
Or as they call the person, a forerunner from a time
Mhm.
yet to come.
Yep.
Now, with that being said, this is where I'm like, wait a minute, a forerunner from a time yet to come. Hello, Captain Carter, from a time yet to come. Just putting it out there. But then it clicked in my head that she meant in the 1602 universe, somebody went back in time.
Mm-hmm.
A clue. Somebody went back in time. So
Here's a
when
missionary for
Hogan
you.
says to her, well, can you find this person? I mean, you've got the powers. Let's do this. Captain Carter overhears it and says, well, thanks, Nick, for the new discovery, and, leaves the castle, where Carter decides, I'm going to go out, and, oh, look, it's Tony Stark. That's right, Tony Stark. Tony Stark in 1602, still a douchebag. I mean, really, he kind of is. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he's just a little bit more stuck up. But he also doesn't have the technology from the future. But he's the guy that you want. You want him on your same team because she says to Tony, hey, listen, there's this guy or girl, somebody who's called the Forerunner, and I'm looking for them. We need help with this. Because they're giving off some type of energy that's ripping a hole in this time-space continuum. She didn't use those words, but that's basically what it is.
Right.
And Stark goes, well, technically, or in theory, yeah, we could do that. But it's gonna need a lot of magic. And we need Thor's scepter for it.
We need the stuff. We need the stuff with the green stone in it.
Yep. So Stark says, well, you're going to have to steal it. And when you steal it, bring it to me so we can use it and do whatever we need to. And that's when we see Loki and a noble woman are in a carriage that are intercepted by Steve Rogers, Bucky Barnes, and Scott Lang, also known as Robin Hood and his Merry Men.
Right.
Without Robin Hood. But Captain Carter says, hey, can I buy you a drink? Can I buy you a drink? It would be good. Trust me.
Let's go talk about old times.
Yeah. Let's talk about the old days. And how they started talking about Steve's past and her past, and how in his universe Peggy had died, so he was a little shocked to see her and all this other stuff. And Loki also escapes. And Captain Carter and Steve Rogers, well, they kind of do, all right, let's come to my tree house. I felt like a kid.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, felt like a kid when they said that.
Want to come back to my place? Come on, let's go have some fun.
Look,
baby.
we can climb this little ladder, and it brings us to the tree, and it'll be wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful, I tell you.
It'll be
in
so
the treehouse,
special.
which is their secret hideout, Steve asks if she's going to steal King Thor's scepter, and she's like, hell yeah. It's going to be wonderful. Going to take it. We're going to be able to find out what's going on, and we're going to save this world, because why not? I don't want to be stranded here anymore. Get me out of here. But at some point, Carter kind of says, meh, shakes it off and does whatever. But she also said being in the wrong place at the wrong time was her speciality. Makes sense. Kind of like Die Hard. Die Hard, John McClane's always in the wrong place at the wrong time. It happens. That's what it is. However, Steve Rogers says if there was another Steve Rogers in her world, would she say yes? And she says, well, will you help me? Sure. Why not? But Steve also replies that his Margaret would want to save that time period as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, sign me up.
Because that's what she did.
And that's what she did. Yeah. Sign me up. Well, just then, Hogan and the Royal Yellow Jackets. Yes, that's right. The Royal Yellow Jackets.
Mm-hmm.
Also known as soldiers that can shrink down to Ant-Man size and are dressed like Yellow Jackets. Invade the treehouse. Yeah.
And yes, that does mean that Ant-Man himself is in this episode.
Well, Scott Lang. I mean, he did help them. So, yeah. But they want Carter alive, and it's up to them. And Bucky shoots Hogan with arrows. Steve warns him not to make him angry because you don't want him to become, the Red Hulk, or in this case, what was it from the other episode?
Purple.
Yeah, but they had a name. What was his name? Crap.
I don't remember.
I can't remember the name. Hold on. I'm going to find it. It's
One
here.
moment, please.
It's here. Listen, it's going to drive me nuts, so I need to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One moment,
see.
please, while Sully settles his mind.
Yeah, because, have to. Let's see here. The Freak. That's what it was. The Freak. Because he was Happy Hogan and Purple and a Freak. But just then the Destroyer appears and destroys the treehouse. The Destroyer was from Thor. So if you remember big metal guy, that's the one. And as that happens, because the treehouse is completely destroyed, Hogan goes, they're all dead. They're all dead. And Carter tries to shield herself from the Destroyer's blast so she can, tell Hogan that, hey, I'm trying to help you guys. I don't want to see you die. Let me help you. But they don't need her help because she's the cause. So Thor is not one to save things or people. So,
right. Off with their head.
Off with their head, damn it. Kind of like the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. So from there, and we do kind of have to speed it up, but there's so much in this episode. This was actually one of the longer episodes, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
I forget what the runtime was, but
keep talking. I'll try to find out.
Why, thank you. She gets thrown in prison, and Carter senses the Watcher and says, what are you watching? What you doing, buddy? And he replies that, well, I'm always watching. I can see everything. Are you ready to go home yet? Because all I got to do is snap my fingers and boom, I'll send you home. But she declines. She declines and says, listen, if there's a chance, I have to do it. I have to try and save this reality. I need to locate the Forerunner. I'm going to do it. You're either going to help me or you're not. But if you're going to help me, help me. Do what you need to. And he's very adamant. This is destined to die. You can't change this. And she goes, well, you know what? If I see someone hurt, I have to help them. So the Watcher is very, very big on the, no. Don't do it. Don't do it. Move on. This is going to go kaboom. You're going to die. and I don't want to see you die because I feel that you are my friend, and it would just get worse from there.
Right.
And she says, well, you know what? Get out of my way then.
Either help or get the hell out of the way.
So she breaks the door down, clearly, because, you know, super strength and all that. And she finds Bruce Banner in a nearby cell that he doesn't want to leave. And he's like, you know, I prefer the quietness. It's nice. And she says, well, okay. I mean, you'd be a great asset. So
he
hey,
likes the quiet.
Yeah. Hey, I'm over here.
He likes the quiet. It helps him to stay calm and everything else. And well, when a whole bunch of bullets come flying through his door, he gets a little pissed.
Yeah, just a little. Especially since he got shot. So therefore, good luck, guys. He turns into the Hulk, breaks out of his cell, and Carter hops on his back and gets a ride.
Yeah.
Right through the hallways, you name it, it's happening. Boom, gone. It's going to happen. Everybody's going to get squashed. And they do what they do. But they get to Stark's barn. And Banner says that he hates this world and the noisy people are wrong. And Carter says that I'm trying to fix it. So Stark gives Banner some grain alcohol to set him straight, make him Bruce Banner again and not the Hulk. And he might be a little drunk.
Maybe a little bit.
Now, in the comics, for those that don't know, Tony Stark did actually have a drinking problem. He was an alcoholic. They even did a entire storyline that because of his alcoholism, he lost Stark Industries. Like you name it, they went all out, and it was a very deep storyline when they did that. So, showing here, yeah, it happens. But Carter asks Stark if his invention is done and if it will find the Forerunner. He goes, yeah, not only will it find him, but it'll send it back where they came from once the Time Stone is inserted. So they need the Time Stone from the scepter that Thor has in order to use it and do what they need to do. That's when Steve, Bucky, and Scott show up, and they go, are we ready to storm the castle? Because it's our thing. Let's do it. And all I could think of was, bye-bye, boys. Have fun storming the castle.
Right.
I love the small homages to movies of old. If you want to call Princess Bride an old movie. But that's
an older movie.
Yeah, older movie. But the castle raid has begun. And I am going to kind of skip a few because we still have to go into our last episode here. And basically it's an all-out fight. Wanda, Thor, Carter, Steve Rogers, Bucky, like they're all there. They're all doing what they need to do. They bring the machine that they're going to need in order to use it to find the Forerunner, but they have to go through everybody else first. Which brings us up to the Freak and Steve Rogers. As everybody else is fighting off guards, Wanda's kind of, trying to get the rift to not break into the castle even more. She's trying to repair it, but it's not working. Innocent people are running. It's chaos.
Yeah. There's fights going on everywhere.
But I will say, Steve Rogers did the right thing and said, "Hey, Banner, want to help? Fight the freak here."
Right.
And he does. He does. Which Carter jumps in front of Thor and says, "You have to trust me. Please. I can do this. Hand over the scepter." And that's when Thor goes, "How dare you? You killed my sister. Prepare to die. We trusted you then. You failed the All-Father. How dare you?" And then Carter says, "Well, the All-Father was made of vibranium. So, yeah."
31 minutes.
31 minutes. That's... Yeah, I mean, it was...
It seemed like one of the longer episodes, though.
It really did, because there was a lot going on.
Yeah.
A lot going on with that. And as they're fighting and they're trying to save people and they're fighting their friends, they get to the point. What the hell is the point? Not
the part
pint.
And the point combined.
The part. Boy, Jesus Christ. T'Challa is there, mentions that Wakanda was plagued by rifts as well, and that this needs to happen. We need to fix this. Stop it. Stop doing
because he pulled out that freaking sword.
Yeah, that was a cool.
He pulled out that freaking sword, and she's like, Steve, we have a problem here. That's vibranium.
Help me. Just help me. Please help. Because, yeah, I need to help. Well, she is now holding Thor. Well, as they're kind of fighting, Maximoff, Wanda, the lovely lady that she is holding back Thor and trying to fix the rift at the same time, but Thor overpowers her and basically calls her a traitor. She collapses, and the rift you can see is getting bigger and bigger. Freak is overpowering the Hulk. Carter's doing what she needs to do. Thor's running. Stark manages to get the machine working, and it turns into a glove which Carter wears. She shoots it at Thor, releasing a green blast around the castle. Very reminiscent of the Infinity Gauntlet.
Right.
But with one stone. Well, after Carter activates the invention, the Forerunner is revealed, and it's revealed to be Steve Rogers. Great twist, by the way.
Yes. This was the oh damn, what's his name? Freaking what a twist.
M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan, thank you.
What the twist?
This was the M. Night Shyamalan moment of this episode.
Yes. Great twist. Because he says, I remember a battle with a monster from the skies who was armed with a golden glove.
I swung at him and I hit one of the stones.
And it sent him back to 1602, but also wiped his memories.
Mm-hmm.
So he had no clue what was going on.
Right.
Therefore, turning the entire planet into the 1602 universe that we see.
Right, and thus pulling the two universes together.
Yep.
Which was causing all the problems.
Yep.
But I like what he did. He had two ways that he could go here. There's two ways that it could go here. Either he's like, screw you, I don't care, and take off and run and try to get away, or be the bigger man.
Yes.
And, Peggy, understandably, just like in other episodes that we've seen, hint, hint,
Yep.
The line, I don't want to lose you again, or I can't lose you again, comes up. And Steve's like, you know what we have to do. You know what I have to do, as he's holding her hand.
Yep, I have to do this.
And, it's the way it has to be. And he pushes the button
Yes.
on the glove, which, if it was me, I don't know if I could do that.
Why not?
I don't know if I could do that or not.
But see, so okay, so I would be able to only because it's either me and my happiness, or the entire world gets destroyed. So
Yeah.
the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Thank you, Captain Spock.
Sometimes. Every now and then, I like to be greedy.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Well,
I would probably do the right thing, like you said, and hit the button.
I mean, I would hope you would do the right thing. I'm just putting it out there.
As long as we still had the Sully show, I wouldn't care.
Right? I mean, that's pretty damn important if you ask me.
I agree.
Just putting it out there, just saying. Well, from there, Captain Carter is narrating that there was a lot of superstition back during her days in the war, and that victory has its own sort of course. Sorry, not course, curse.
Mm-hmm.
So every battle she wins, every inch she gains, would mean she would only get further from home.
Yep.
Powerful line. That was a very, very powerful line. Because it goes to show you that the path that she's on is very, very similar to the same path that Steve Rogers was on.
Right. And she says that, or she's told that in her conversation when she's standing next to the Watcher, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, she was saying that, but that's when the Watcher arrived.
Okay.
Or she thought it was the Watcher. Instead, it was Doctor Strange.
Oh, that's right. That's when Dickhead walks in.
And when he arrived, she said, "Oh, I could use a friend right now."
Mm-hmm.
And says, "What are you doing here?" And he says, "Well,
have I got a story for you?
I got a story for you." And it cuts to black. Now, I can honestly say, from a fan of the 1602 comic series, I loved this episode.
Okay.
I'm giving it 4.75 question marks.
Ooh.
It was almost a 5. Almost a 5.
What would have pushed it to 5?
I think if we had seen Spider-Man, that probably would have pumped it up to a 5 because Spider-Man was very prevalent in the 1602 comic series.
Okay.
Otherwise, phenomenal. The story was great. It really was. And it explained how the 1602 came to be very well. Very, very well.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
And I like that they... I'm trying to find a picture of Captain America from 1602. I can't remember if they actually have like a full picture of him, but basically what it was is he was more primitive. He was more Native American looking. He instead of wearing a mask, he actually had the A painted on him like war paint
Oh,
Um,
really?
oh yeah,
Cool.
oh yeah. But
Permanent tattoo. I didn't think they had tattoos back in those days.
well, not like a permanent tattoo, but it was cool how they did it, and taking that story and combining it with the future made it even
Right.
better.
Yeah.
It really did. It just made it even better. So 4.75 for me.
Okay. For me, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I did. I enjoyed the storyline. I enjoyed what little history I was able to get from it. I did not know, obviously, that 1602 was actually a comic book run
Oh
or
yeah.
series or whatever you want to call it. So the whole premise was a little off to me.
Okay.
Um, it didn't affect the way I enjoyed the episode.
All right.
You know, I like the storyline just like you. I like how they combine things, and all that. But like I said, the time frame and everything just kind of threw me off a little bit. For that reason, and that reason only, um, I'm actually a full point below you.
Really?
Yeah, three and three quarter or
Wow.
3.75 question marks for me on this episode. Like I said, it was a good episode. I enjoyed the premise of it. There is a lack of understanding of the 1602 premise
Right.
is what caused my issue. You know what? Why did they pick 1602? Why didn't they pick 1942 or something like that kind of thing?
Sure.
You know what was so special about 1602 that they had to specifically go there? But like I said, it didn't stop my enjoyment of the episode. It just kind of it kept my score a little bit lower. That's
Okay.
all.
All right. Well, according to Laserman, he says that when the series concludes, it will make more sense. Very true. Very, very true. Because the next and last episode, episode 9.
While you do this,
Yeah.
I'm going to run and fill my soda up real quick.
Okay. By all means.
Okay.
You do that.
I'll be right back. But you can go on because I'll be able to jump in. All I'm going to say is, wow. Wow is all I'm going to say.
Yep.
And I'll be right back.
Yep. Well, episode 9. Episode 9 is what if Strange Supreme intervened? Wow. Just wow. Because the last time we saw Strange Supreme, aside from, picking up Kahori, was way back in season 1, where he, tried to destroy his universe by saving one person. And then, obviously became a guardian of the multiverse. And yeah. Well, this was just a wow fest. It really was. It was a wow fest. Because after the fact of, Captain Carter saving 1602, and Strange Supreme comes in and visits her and says, "Hey, do I got a story to tell you?" We find out that he's needs some help. And he's insisting that she comes and helps, basically because they're pals, they're friends. Can you do an old friend a favor? To me, as I was watching this, I went, I don't know about this. Something ain't right. What that something ain't right is, I don't know, but something ain't right. Well, Boy, was I right. This alone, this is, I would say that this episode has gotten a lot of mixed reviews. But to me, I feel that this episode is one of the best that they have. Now, Strange is coercing Carter to help him out. You got to come here. You got to help me track down a very powerful force because it's going to destroy the multiverse. Well, she finally says yes.
He played to the one side of her that he knew he could manipulate.
Yeah.
Which, was pretty screwed up on his side, but with the storyline, it's perfectly understandable why he did that.
Yeah, because let's face it, the fact of the matter is, if someone's in trouble or hurt, she has to help.
She doesn't have to, but it's in her nature that she will.
Yes. So, since he wore her down and got her to come to this other realm, this other world, Peggy encounters Kahori. Yay. She's back. That's wonderful. Superpowers and all, and she can speak English, which is even...
Yes, thank God. Thank God. As soon as I saw her and she started talking English, I was like,
yay, she can speak English. I can understand it. Well,
but we did still have to read some subtitles.
Well, but that's okay because they only had a few. They didn't have a lot.
Only a few. Only a few.
So Peggy thinks she's the one that she's got to take out. So the two of them start fighting. Once she gets to the point of, hey, listen, don't do that, Peggy accidentally springs a trap. And because of that, Strange gets Kahori and her wonderful magical powers. Kahori.
Well, and he told her, before he sent Peggy in, he told her once you get her, and he didn't say you had to catch her.
Just get her.
He just said, once you get her close, I will bring you back. I will bring you both back.
Yes.
So I forgot that he told her that until the thing came up underneath them and the portal opened and they fell through.
Yeah. Well, that's when things kind of hit the fan. Because Kahori is telling Peggy, no, it's not me. I'm not the one. You don't want to take me out. I need your help because Strange is the bad guy here.
Yep.
Strange is the one that is trying to gather all these, what was the term? World enders. The world enders, yes. World enders. To the point where he is denying it left and right.
Yeah. Don't listen to her. She's lying. She's lying to you. She's trying to manipulate you. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, some of the reviews that I've seen, this one person that I've gotten some notes from because they did a very decent review on it. Apparently missed the entire episode beforehand that introduces Kahori and her powers. Because, and I quote, a big problem with Kahori is despite having a focused introduction episode, there was no tangible explanation of her powers.
So, in other words, you missed episode 6.
Um, not just all of episode 6, the Tesseract, which has the Space Stone in it, and oh, by the way, the whole episode, full on episode,
Mm-hmm.
Native American dialect,
Mm-hmm.
a great
Subtitles
story.
from hell.
I know you don't like reading. You don't like reading captions, but
It takes away from my enjoyment.
It gets to the point where Captain Carter looks at Kohori and says, "Uh-oh," because it turns out that Strange Supreme is 100% evil now, because he is now trying to restore his world that he destroyed so he can get Christine back. And that's when everything kind of hits the fan.
Kind of?
Let me rephrase. All out war.
Well, let's put it this way. The shit just didn't hit the fan.
Yeah.
The shit hit the jet engine fan.
Yes. Yes.
Or the 797.
And it's interesting because we see numerous
Oh, dude.
numerous villains.
I can't remember what they're called. Where they make the just small little appearance.
Cameos.
Cameos, thank you. The cameos in this episode.
It had just about
Were
every
amazing.
character. Yeah. Just about every character.
It had Red Skull in there.
Yeah. Red Skull.
You know, oh shit.
You had Killmonger, you had Thanos, you had Ultron Prime, Loki, multiple Lokis, by the way, including President Loki.
It was crazy. I've never seen that many cameos in one episode.
Well, that's not true. You know, Endgame.
Well, you know what I mean. I said one episode. I didn't say one movie.
True. Very
episode. I mean, and if you look at it, that was only a few. Yeah. To be honest, a few of the people that he had captured.
Yes.
Because Kohiri did say that not only was he collecting bad guys, he was collecting good guys as well.
Yes.
To prove the point, later in the episode, we see, what's his name from her episode?
Oh, we see Iron Man, we see Captain America, we see Thor, we see the Guardians of the Galaxy, Gamora, Scarlet Witch, Hela, Nebula.
Yeah, I mean, you could name just about any character. I would say probably any and almost every character that has come about throughout the Marvel Universe.
Yes. And
it was crazy.
With this particular episode, and there's a reason why we're kind of skipping over a lot with this, because this really is from start to finish a fight. That's all it is.
Oh yeah.
But it goes to show how he was getting these other characters. So if you remember from the 1602 episode, when the rift opened up and Maximoff was trying to close the rift and Hela went through, that's how he was gaining them. That's how he was doing it. He was doing it through these rifts. And he was basically keeping everyone in their own little prison, like a glass menagerie.
Yeah, they're their own little
they had a little hub.
Their own little snow globe kind of thing.
Yeah. But the fight gets more and more intense. All the characters start throwing helmets, hammers, knives. You see people with 10 rings, different versions. You see swords. You see all the superheroes. You see the Freak, the Hulk. They're all there. They're all fighting.
Well,
all
they're
fighting.
even throwing spears.
Spears, yeah.
Spears, arrows, the whole freaking 9 yards.
Yeah. But here's where they decide, well, you know what? We need to fight them. And the one way they need to fight them is with the Ultron Prime armor. Not only does Captain Carter get the armor, but she can wield the Infinity Stones.
Oh. Well, and the one point that we need to make on this is, I know we're kind of rushing through it, but the one point we need to make on this is she got that as they were on their way to the forge.
Yep.
To try to destroy the forge before he could put everybody into the forge.
Yep.
To get and wield all of their powers in order to recreate his world.
Yes. So he was willing to kill every single person.
Yep. Anyone who had any kind of power.
Just to restore his world.
Yep.
And as that's happening, he is very powerful. So powerful, in fact, that he can actually block some of the power streams from the Infinity Stones.
Mm-hmm.
And
the final battle was, freaking
I was
God,
all over the place. Listen, Kohiri is like a force to be reckoned with in and of itself, because she's got the power of the Space Stone.
Yeah, she's got the power of the Tesseract in her.
Yep.
You know, and she knows how to use it.
Yep. Now, the other thing with that is, and this is one thing that people who have reviewed this episode and said, hey, wait a minute, how come she can wield the Infinity Stones, but it crippled the Hulk? Different universe, different Infinity Stones.
For two. And it is a specially designed suit of armor specifically for that.
Yes, to harness the Infinity Stones. So you have to take that into consideration. If you don't take that into consideration, then you're just going to be like, well, that was stupid.
Well, I think wasn't that like vibranium armor?
Yes. Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Because it was Vision's body. Because it was what if Ultron succeeded? So Ultron became Vision. Vision created the armor and killed Thanos and got the Infinity Stones. Boom, done. There it is. Season 1. Go back and watch it, folks. So as they're fighting, now all the characters are being dumped into this forge. Yeah. All fighting each other, mind you. As they're falling.
But here's the interesting thing. That the one thing that caught my eye in this series, because they fall down and they go back up multiple times because Kohiri saves them, starts pushing them back up. Strange breaks her spell. They start falling back down again, and then Peggy, with the use of the Infinity Stones, starts to take him back up, and he breaks that. So they're going up and down and up and down. Who is the one character that they showed every time they went in a different direction? Who is the one character?
I got to think
that they showed, and the character is very vital to how the storyline goes. So one clue I'll give you.
Wasn't it
There's
Loki?
one character in all 4 times they show.
Yeah, wasn't it Loki?
Nope.
Wasn't?
Nope.
Who was
it was Hela.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hela and the helmet.
Yep. That's right.
Because she has the helmet in this episode.
Yep, she did have the helmet.
And it comes very, very vital, along with the rest of the weapons, Thor's hammer and the 10 rings and all that good stuff. It becomes very, very vital, but she starts it.
Yeah. And it was kind of like one of those, it reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, where Rocket had trapped sprung traps across the wooded area that on the planet they were in, and all the
Mhm.
characters were flying up in the air. That's what it
Yeah,
reminded me of.
yeah,
And
it was neat, and it was like they were yo-yos.
yeah, yeah, pretty
And
much.
yo-yos on invisible strings, down they go, up they go, down they go, up they go, down they go.
Yep. And it
Freaking
finally got to the
plucky
point.
ducky on an elevator, man.
If and well, that's the thing, and it finally got to the point where Kahori and Captain Carter are doing everything they can to, one, save everybody, two, kick the shit out of
Destroy the
Doctor
fort.
Strange, and they finally get to the point where they hit him so hard that now he's falling into the forge, and
Well,
it gets. I'm trying to remember what he
before,
does, because there was something that he did. Oh, I can't remember what he did. I gotta go
well,
back.
what happened? If I think I know what you're missing, and this might clue it in. The reason I said that Hela was so important was because as she's falling down the last time, she takes her helmet off and throws it
Yes.
to Peggy. And then the rest of the Marvel characters, Thor's hammer comes flying over, the 10 rings come flying over.
Yep.
All of the magical weapons that have been used throughout the MCU and by all these different characters, they all give those
Yes.
to Peggy. And between Peggy and Koheri, they are able to combine all of those
and use them to their advantage
to send Strange flying and defeat him, they thought. But that's when the monster inside of Doctor Strange comes out.
Yes.
The almost dinosaur dragon type thing with 3 eyes, and the really, really bad guy, the Kraken arms,
So
the
basically,
giant octopus tentacles and all that. I mean, just all the bad stuff that he turned into in that episode.
Yes.
In season 1.
Where he didn't turn into them, he absorbed them.
Right. Sorry. Yeah. All the things that he absorbed in season 1 in his episode.
Yes.
All of those come out to protect him, basically, to keep the fight going.
Until
Yep.
they finally get to the point where they have everybody saved to an extent, and because of it, Doctor Strange decides, well, this is a battle I cannot win.
Right. Well, in the armor suit actually gets destroyed.
Yes.
By Strange.
Yes.
He actually destroys the suit, and the gems all fall to the ground.
Yep.
Or not the gems, the Infinity Stones. All
Stones.
fall to the ground.
Yep. And he looks up as he's starting to fall and embraces the fall.
Oh, and he grabs Peggy.
Well, tries to anyway.
No, he did. He grabbed her.
She does go down, but she gets saved.
She's going down with him, and then Koheri, how she knows the things that she knows, kind of baffles me. But it works, it has to work well for the storyline because she grabs the Infinity Stones.
Yes.
And throws them to Peggy.
Yes. As
she's being dragged down. And Peggy catches him in one hand and punches him. Punches him as hard as she can. And then she jumps up. Because if she doesn't get away from him, obviously, Peggy's going down with him.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, Peggy's going to do the bigger thing and sacrifice herself in this fight. But she jumps up and grabs a little ledge and, she's hanging from the ledge watching him fall.
Yep. And that's the thing, because of that, we start to see all the monsters and everything come back out, and he goes down, he goes into the forge. But what happened was, and this was a cool reversal, was instead of destroying the world that was already technically destroyed, it started the world back up again. He restored the world that he destroyed by absorbing all of these magical creatures and doing what he needed to do to try and save Christine.
Right.
But the whole world was reborn without him in it.
Right. And they were, if I remember correctly, they were able to send everybody else back to their original worlds.
Yes. As a matter of fact, the Watcher explains that he has never seen a reality reborn before.
Right.
But he also...
What's really neat is when he's saying this stuff, Peggy is standing right beside him.
Oh, yeah.
And they're viewing all of the different universes. And Peggy's like, so this is how you see everything.
Yes.
It really, really cool scene there.
But here's the even cooler part. Here's the even cooler part is that Uatu saved both Peggy and Kahori before the Sanctum blew up.
Yes.
Okay. So because he saved them and seeing that the world was reborn, he shows Cap the multiverse.
And shows her the world that Strange recreated.
Yep. They're on the bridge, they're talking, but he's showing her the multiverse. But here's the cool part. As she's getting shown the multiverse and mentioning, like you said, this is how you see things, you see the camera pan out and it shows, something very familiar. Something so familiar, in fact, that we talked about it in the previous Avenger Pretenders. The tree. The tree of life from Loki season 2.
Yep.
And Peggy says, well, you know what? I think it's time to go home. But...
No, the Watcher said that.
Well, yes, that's true. He did.
And then Peggy's like, "Ow."
Well, I mean, listen, I agree with her on this. Let's take the long way around.
Yeah, how about we take the scenic route?
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. Sure, well, and she's come to the realization now that there will never be a time or universe that her and Rogers will ever be together.
Yes.
So she's like, well, you know what? If I'm never going to have what I truly want, then I might as well have what I'm born to do.
Yes.
And have the ability to go world to world when she's needed.
Absolutely.
And help.
Absolutely.
Which is an amazing realization for her to come to. And at the same time, an amazing sacrifice for her to make. But if she knows she's never truly going to be happy.
Right.
And she's always going to be struggling with trying to make things happen with Rogers. Then why try?
Well, I don't think it's a matter of not trying. I think for her, it's just a matter of, all right, I've been there, done that, but you know what? Somebody else could use my help.
Yeah, yeah.
And she can go back to her time at any time because that's what Uatu can do.
Right.
Return
just like,
her back.
Okay, I want to go home.
Yeah. Return her back to the point in time where she left. He can do that anytime.
Take me back to Blockbuster. My return date has arrived.
There you go. So, With that being said,
You.
I give this episode a 4.
What?
Yep, a 4.
Really?
Here's why.
Okay.
I love, and believe me, this has nothing to do with the writing. It has nothing to do with the episode itself. It was a great episode. But the reason I'm giving it a 4 is because I predicted the entire episode.
Mm.
I sat there and watched it and I went, are you kidding me? Before he even got Peggy to go with him, I'm like, this is what's going to happen. He's the bad guy.
Okay.
Only reason why I'm giving it a 4. The only reason is because I called the entire episode.
Okay. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
What do you give it?
It surprises me that just because you had in your mind with your extensive knowledge of the Marvel universe and everything, it surprises me that just because you were able to predict what was going to happen, it surprises me that you knocked it down as far as you did.
Right? Crazy.
Honestly, I was expecting you to come out with a 5.
Nope, not for this one, unfortunately.
Or close to a 5. So that's why I say it surprises me that you gave it. And I know 4 is not low, but for this episode, to me, it's low.
Yeah.
But that's me. Now, understand, this is coming from somebody who has an extremely limited knowledge of the Marvel universe. I mean, obviously, I knew nothing about 1602 and all this good stuff. This episode blew my mind.
Really?
The massive number of characters and storylines and battles, and everything that they brought together in probably a 15-minute time frame was epic.
Ooh, epic.
I mean, we could sit here probably for a good 10 minutes, dude, and list the characters that made just the cameo appearance at the fight scene at the castle.
Oh, hands down. But there was no Spidey.
Right. And it was just the number of characters that they had, and the battle scene between Strange and Peggy and Watu was crazy.
Yeah.
The number and the power behind the hits that all 3 of these characters took. Watu getting caught by that giant hand.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
That Strange made come out of the wall.
Yeah, that was cool.
There were just so many things in this final battle scene that, believe it or not, I would put this battle scene, in my mind.
Okay.
I will clarify. In my mind, this battle scene for season 2 of What If, episode 9, was just as epic as the final battle in Endgame.
Ooh.
In my mind.
That's
remember, I'm just
that's bold.
I'm just a dumb redneck. I'm just the dumb redneck who uses the outhouse and wipes his butt with a sheep every time.
That is bold, my friend. That is bold.
The best episode in the series was not this.
Oh yeah, no.
There's one episode that I can't remember which one it was, but there was one episode in season 2 that I gave a 5.
Yeah, I think it was what one was it?
Either 3 or 4, I think.
think so.
Either 3 or 4. But I'm giving this one a 4.9.
Ooh, just shy of a
4.9.
5.
Just shy.
Just shy of a 5.
It was a great episode. And it is one of the best episodes in the 2 seasons of What If.
Yeah.
So, overall,
yep,
for its series, season 2, 4.75.
Okay. All right. So you're right. You're right there with.
I'm right there with Nikaya.
Yeah.
The only one that really threw me off, which I explained last week, was the episode introducing Watu.
Yeah.
That threw me off. So that kind of brought it down a little bit, but honestly, it didn't bring it down very much. It probably was going to be a 4.8.
Okay.
So it didn't bring it out very much. I truly enjoyed it. Season 2 blew season 1 out of the water completely.
Oh, hands down.
All right. Or as I told you at the beginning of the show, it blew it out of the country.
That's true. You did.
So yeah, 4.75 for me on the overall series.
All right. Well, overall, I'm right there with you. 4.75. I thought it was very well done. I can't wait to see what happens in season 3.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty epic to me that they've already announced that there is a season 3 coming.
Yes, it's going to be.
I mean, where are they going to go? Oh my God. I mean,
there's so many places that they can go.
I was just to say the storylines that are out there with the imagination that they've shown this season.
Yeah.
With season 1, I was kind of worried about season 2.
Right.
You know, because season 1 was kind of iffy in a couple of spots. Wasn't no iffy in season 2.
Yeah, no, there's no iffy at all.
You know, at all. So if they can stay on this level or even improve on it, epic or season 3 is gonna be holy crap.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. Well, yes, my friends, that is the end of this week's special Avenger Pretenders, where JT and I went almost 2 hours for 3
That's okay.
episodes.
I said it's going to be close to 2. We're going to try to keep it to 30 to 45 minutes an episode, but yeah, it's going to be hard.
Well, I mean, we had to do 2 at once, and it happened. So we did try. We did try, but next Monday, we will still be working on Avenger Pretenders, but we'll be tackling Echo episode 1. The good thing is there's only 5 episodes of Echo. So, yeah, there's a lot going in. What I would recommend, if you haven't done so already, make sure you watch Hawkeye. And if possible, watch Daredevil from Netflix. You don't have to, but I would recommend it. At least Hawkeye. Because at least with Hawkeye, you can understand where Echo is coming from. So, for the redneck, there he is. That's JT and myself. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to Avenger Pretenders. We'll be live next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And don't forget, tomorrow for The Sully Show, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Accidental Punch TV. Have a great night, everybody. We will see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We're going to leave now.
Yeah. See you later, alligator.
You what, crocodile?